All right, let's dive into the world of JAKA Robotics.
Yeah,
We're going to take a close look at their robots and software today.
sounds good.
I've got some sources here to help us out.
Okay.
A software release document,
Hmm.
kind of like liner notes for their latest update,
Cool.
and their product catalog,
Nice.
which is, I have to admit, kind of making me jealous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One thing that really stands out to me is how much JAKA is focused on making their robots easy to use and safe to work with.
Yeah. It's really interesting how they're combining industrial strength with user-friendliness.
It is. Their slogan is just always keep amazing.
I like that.
And that really seems to come through in their design philosophy.
Totally.
So let's jump right into this software update, version 1.7.1.
Okay.
It's packed with new features, and a lot of them seem perfect for, well, someone like you who's interested in learning about robotics.
Awesome.
For example, iPhone users can now control robots directly from their phone
Oh, wow.
using the new iOS app.
That's cool. What versions of iOS does it work with?
Let me check. It looks like iOS 12 and up,
Nice.
and it works with their controllers too.
That makes sense.
And they've also added Korean language support to the app.
That's a good sign. Shows they're thinking globally.
For sure. Robotics is a rapidly growing field with international implications.
Definitely.
This update also includes a new simulation mode,
Ooh.
so you can test out your programming virtually before letting your robots loose in the real world.
That's a great idea for both learning and safety.
Yeah, it's like a sandbox for robot
I
experiments.
love that.
And they've also made the programming interface even simpler with drag and drop functionality.
Oh, wow.
Seems like JAKA is really trying to make robotics accessible to everyone, not just experts.
Yeah, that's a key takeaway here. They're not just building robots for specialists, they're building tools that anyone can learn to use.
Right. And on that note, they've also included some interesting safety enhancements. Collision detection is more sensitive, and you can actually adjust the sensitivity levels.
Oh, that's nice. Why is that so important?
Well, it allows you to really fine-tune how the robot responds, depending on the task.
That's really smart.
Yeah. They've also added something called checksum validation for safety parameters.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's basically a way to make sure that the safety settings can't be tampered with.
So it adds an extra layer of protection.
Exactly. To give you peace of mind knowing your cobot is operating safely.
That's great.
Okay, now let's move on to the robot lineup, starting with the Zoo series.
The workhorses.
Right. These seem like they're designed for a wide range of industrial applications.
Totally.
They have a pretty impressive range of sizes and payload capacities, too.
That's important.
The Zoo 3 can handle up to 3 kilograms,
Okay.
while the Zoo 20 can lift a whopping 20 kilograms.
Wow. So with that range, the Zoo series can be used in a lot of different industries.
For sure. You could have a Zoo 3 assembling delicate electronics in one factory,
Right.
and a Zoo 20 moving heavy parts in an automotive plant just down the street.
That's great.
Next up is the S series
Oh yeah, these are known for their precise force control.
and their IP65 rating, which it means they can handle dust and water jets.
Oh, so you could use these in like a dusty workshop or even outdoors?
Exactly, without any issues.
That's awesome.
Then there's the Pro series.
Ooh, the heavy-duty ones.
Yeah, if you need a robot that can really handle anything, this is it,
It can handle anything.
pretty much. The Pro series has an IP68 rating.
What does that mean?
That means it's completely dust-proof and can even be submerged in water.
Wow. So these are meant for demanding environments then?
Yeah, heavy-duty manufacturing, outdoor applications, maybe even underwater exploration.
The possibilities are pretty exciting.
They really are. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we have the All-in-One series.
Compact.
Super compact.
Yeah.
And they have an integrated vision system.
Cool.
And you can actually program them directly from your phone or a web interface.
It's amazing how much they've packed into such a small design.
It really is.
Yeah.
Especially that integrated vision system. It allows the robot to actually see its surroundings.
That's incredible. So it can do tasks that require visual feedback then.
Exactly. Like sorting objects, inspecting parts for defects, or even assisting with surgery.
That's wild.
It really opens up a lot of possibilities.
For sure.
And finally, we have the Mini series.
These are the most affordable ones, right?
They are,
Yep.
but they're still incredibly versatile because of their open architecture.
Open architecture, what does that mean?
It means it allows for secondary development and customization.
Oh, interesting. So users can actually modify the robot's hardware and software.
To a certain extent, yeah.
I wonder what kind of modifications people could make.
Well, I'm not an engineer,
Mm-hmm.
but I bet tinkerers and inventors could come up with all sorts of things.
Like what?
assistive devices maybe, educational tools, even artistic installations.
That's a great point. It really highlights how JAKA's technology could be used to make a positive impact in different areas.
I think so too. And speaking of making a positive impact.
Yeah. Let's talk about JAKA's vision systems.
Okay.
They offer two main options, the JK Lens 2D and the JK Lens VPS.
I am really curious about those.
Yeah.
Could you explain a little bit more about how those work
Sure.
and what makes them unique?
So the JK Lens 2D, that one gives the robot two-dimensional vision.
Okay.
It's like giving the robot the ability to see shapes and colors, and patterns.
Oh, yeah.
This allows the robot to identify objects, determine their position and orientation,
Okay.
and even inspect them for defects.
So the 2D system is all about just basic visual recognition then.
Basically. Yeah.
What about the VPS system?
Right.
What does VPS even stand for?
VPS stands for Vision Perception System.
Okay.
And it's a lot more advanced than the 2D system.
In what way?
Well, it uses AI to give the robot a deeper understanding of its environment.
Okay.
It's not just seeing objects, it's actually perceiving them in three-dimensional space and understanding their relationship to each other.
That sounds really impressive.
It is.
But I have to admit, I'm a little bit skeptical.
I understand.
Can a robot really perceive its environment in the same way that a human can?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it really gets at the heart of some current research in robotics and AI.
Okay.
So while this VPS system is a big step forward, it's important to remember that it's still a technology under development.
Yeah.
It can do some amazing things, but it's not a perfect replica of human perception.
So what kind of limitations does it have?
Well, one limitation is that it relies on data and algorithms to understand the world.
Right.
So if the robot encounters a situation that it hasn't been trained on,
Yeah.
it might not interpret it correctly.
Makes sense.
Another challenge is just dealing with unpredictable or chaotic environments.
It's like how a self-driving car might have trouble in heavy snow or fog
Exactly.
because the sensors can't really get a clear picture of what's around.
That's a great analogy. But even with these limitations,
Yeah.
the JK Lens VPS can do incredible things.
Like what?
For example, it can recognize gestures.
Okay.
It can track movements. It can understand the layout of a workspace.
Right.
It can even detect potential hazards and alert human workers.
That's really important,
It is.
especially when we're talking about robots working alongside humans.
Yeah, safety is key in collaborative robotics.
Exactly. How do these vision systems contribute to the overall safety of the cobots?
Well, they play a really important role in making sure that these cobots can work safely alongside people.
Okay.
With the 2D system,
Yeah.
the robot can avoid collisions with objects in its path.
Right.
And then with the VPS,
Yeah.
the robot can actually anticipate movements and react accordingly.
So it's like having an extra set of eyes watching out for potential hazards.
You got it.
I'm also curious about the ethical implications of using AI-powered robots.
Yeah, that's an important question.
Does JK address any of these concerns in their documentation?
Well, the documents we have don't go super deep into specific ethical frameworks,
Okay.
but their focus on safety features and human-robot collaboration suggests a certain level of awareness.
So they are thinking about these things.
Definitely.
How to design robots that can work safely and responsibly alongside humans.
Absolutely.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it's an important conversation to have as this technology keeps developing.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot here.
We have.
From JAKA's philosophy of accessibility and ease of use to their impressive lineup of robots
Yeah,
and their innovative vision systems.
definitely.
I'm really starting to understand how this technology could impact so many industries.
Me too. What I find remarkable is JAKA's commitment to pushing the boundaries of what's possible
Yeah.
while also keeping safety and human collaboration at the forefront.
Right. It's like they're not just building robots, they're building a vision for the future
Exactly.
where humans and robots can work together seamlessly and safely.
A future that could be pretty exciting and transformative.
I'm curious to hear what you think about the miniseries. They seem like they could be really good for educational purposes.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
The mini-series, with its small size, affordability,
Yeah.
and ease of use, could be a fantastic tool to introduce students to robotics.
Imagine a classroom where every student has their own mini cobot to experiment with,
Wow,
to program.
that would be amazing.
I could already picture them coming up with all sorts of creative projects and
Well,
applications.
And who knows, maybe some of those students will become the next generation of robotics engineers.
That's a great point.
Yeah, inspired by their early experiences with the miniseries.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling like I need to get my hands on one of these mini cobots myself.
Me too.
But before I run off and buy one,
Yeah.
let's talk about something else that I noticed in the catalog.
Okay, what is it?
Those robot arms.
Oh, yeah.
They're so sleek. What really impressed me was just how smoothly they seem to move.
It's like watching a dancer.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
It's like they're defying gravity with those smooth, precise movements.
You know what's funny? Reading through this stuff, it made me realize that I kind of took those big, clunky industrial robots for granted.
Oh, yeah.
You know the ones you always see in factories?
Totally.
Hidden behind cages?
Yeah.
JAKA's cobots, though, they're designed to be way more approachable and collaborative.
That's a totally different approach.
It is.
Speaking of collaboration,
Yeah.
I wanted to circle back to the miniseries.
Okay.
They seem like they'd be really great for education,
I think so, too.
you know?
Yeah.
With their small size
Affordability.
and ease of use.
Totally.
They could be a great way to introduce students of all ages to robotics.
Absolutely.
Imagine a classroom
Yeah.
where each student has their own little cobot
Wow.
to experiment with and program.
That would be incredible.
Right. I can already see them coming up with all these creative projects and different applications.
And who knows? Maybe some of those students will end up becoming the next generation of,
Yeah.
robotics engineers.
It's inspiring.
It is.
Is JAKA encouraging this new generation of roboticists?
For sure.
Okay, but before I go out and buy a mini cobot myself, I did want to go back to the software update. One more thing I wanted to talk about were the security enhancements.
Yes. Security.
That was super important.
It is, especially when you're talking about robots that are connected to networks and capable of interacting with their environment.
Exactly.
What enhancements caught your eye?
They mentioned something called checksum validation
Right?
for safety parameters.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's a little technical for me.
I understand.
Could you break it down?
Sure.
Maybe explain it in a simpler way.
So checksum validation is basically a way of making sure that the safety parameters you set for the robot haven't been tampered with.
Okay.
It's like a digital seal that verifies the integrity of the data.
Okay.
So if someone tries to change the safety settings without permission, the checksum validation will detect it
I know.
and alert the system.
Oh, wow. So it's like an extra layer of protection
Exactly.
to make sure that the robot is only operating within the safe boundaries
Yes, exactly.
that I defined.
Exactly.
That makes me feel a lot better.
Good.
It sounds like JAKA has really thought about all the safety issues,
They have.
from the collision detection to these secure software updates.
It's clear that safety is a top priority for them.
It is.
And, you know, it's not just about building robots for the sake of it.
Right.
It's about making them reliable
Yeah.
and trustworthy partners for us humans.
That's a great way to put it.
It really is inspiring to see a company so focused on innovation, but also responsibility.
I agree. So as we wrap up our deep dive here into the world of JAKA robotics,
Yes.
what are your main takeaways?
You know, for me,
Yeah.
what stands out is JAKA's dedication to making robots that are accessible to everyone, safe to use,
Yeah.
and truly collaborative.
Yeah.
They have intuitive software, a diverse lineup of robots,
Right.
and they're really thinking ahead when it comes to safety and security.
Absolutely. They're definitely pushing the boundaries of what's possible in human-robot interaction.
They are.
It's been a fascinating journey,
It has.
exploring their technology.
I'm really excited to see where JAKA goes from here.
Me too. But what's even more exciting is how you envision using this technology.
That's the best part of these deep dives.
Right.
They get you thinking about all the possibilities.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be inspired to use the miniseries in an educational setting.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe you're already imagining a JAKA cobot working right alongside you.
I know I am.
Whatever your vision,
Yeah.
we encourage you to keep learning
Yeah.
and exploring the amazing world of JAKA robotics.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be sharing your own creations with the world.
That's a great thought.
So until then, keep exploring, keep learning. Just always keep any taste.
Well said.